I'm Josh Jacobs, CEO of Speakeasy Company, and our model is transforming brands into e-commerce companies, enabling you to own your own growth in an industry where historically brands have had to rely heavily on the second and third tier to scale. But with new brands popping up every day, you cannot sit back, produce great beer, wine, or spirits, and rely on these partners. But how do you grow in an environment where it's challenging to capture the mindshare of a traditional distributor? Then at the third tier, you're entirely removed from the end customer transaction in a bar, restaurant, or liquor store, where all you have is your bottle and label on a shelf, or name on a menu, which is just not enough real estate to alter buying behavior. At Speakeasy, we believe the answer to unlocking faster growth, or at least part of it, is digital. Why are we so confident that the answer is digital? First, we have seen brands already successfully leverage digital to outpace peers. Then on a macro level, stepping back out of the alcohol industry, startups tend to launch online as opposed to retail, leveraging their social media, website, their entire digital presence to educate consumers, indoctrinate them into their brand, and ultimately convert them. This has been more challenging in the alcohol industry, which is why many brands continue to overlook digital, where it can be such a powerful tool. The 3 steps to scaling online we have laid out in our series are discovery, engagement, and conversion, which are feasible in the alcohol industry just like they are outside. Step 1, as we covered in the last video, is awareness, and getting your brand in front of new consumers so they can discover you. But driving traffic to your website and getting users to your social media page is just part of the battle. Once you're in front of a new consumer, you need to capture their attention and engage them. This includes making certain investments and developing a strong story. It's table stakes. It's an absolute necessity, regardless of how awesome your beer, wine, or spirits are, or compelling your story is, you need to have professional branding. This professional branding not only includes the bottle, label, tasting room, and the physical brand, but also extends to the digital presence. By digital, we mean the logo, website, all imagery, social media posts, newsletter, blog posts, videos, and anywhere your brand appears online. To help illuminate, I'll poke fun at myself here. On the left, you will see our original logo and original photography, which I took in a dimly lit bar on my phone and might not have had the steadiest hand at that hour either. On the right, our new branding that is just rolling out. Consumers are not consciously thinking that this is not a professional photo on the left or that a newsletter was poorly written, but all of these micro touches aggregate into a macro impression, and along the way, you are subconsciously being graded by consumers. I think you would agree that if you saw an ad from 33 Club with the branding on the left and another from Speakeasy with the branding on the right, you would likely click on the right, regardless of many other factors, and that can be the difference of earning a lifelong customer and being overlooked. Branding can be a differentiator, but at a minimum, it must instill trust. Once you're in front of a new consumer and have passed the sniff test with professional branding, you want to indoctrinate them into your brand through a compelling story. A story should be meaningful, emotional, simple, authentic, and personal. To illustrate, we'll walk through a Speakeasy partner with a tremendous story. 10th Mountain is named after the historic mountain unit that trained in their backyard. Now directly quoting from their site, the patriotic men of the 10th brought diversity, courage, and hope to the Rocky Mountains when they arrived in the 1940s to train just a few miles south of what is now Vail. They were part of the greatest generation of men, wanting to make each day count and each day better than the last. The mentality they had was strong. After being shaped from rigors of mountain warfare, their egos humble. 10 stories meaningful. It's relevant to their location, and it's emotional. I happened to personally be there when members of the current 10th unit stopped by and gave Ryan, the owner, a signed flag. There were pictures, hugs, and many glossy eyes. This is the type of reaction you should aspire for. Their story continues. The 10th Mountain Whiskey and Spirit Company is an extension of the mountain lifestyle, bringing together the old with the new. Generation after generation, men and women alike, all share the same passion, enjoying it for a day, a weekend, a lifetime, or somewhere in between. No matter how long it's embraced, the combination of friends, mountains, memories, and spirits bring people together like no other. To encourage these relationships, to embrace the mountain lifestyle, and to honor the 10th Mountain soldiers who inspired our way of life, we created a tribute spirit company in Vail, Colorado. Not only is it a tribute to the 10th Mountain soldier, but is also a tribute to those that enjoy the mountain lifestyle, living it fully every day. The 10th story is simple, easy to grasp, but still deep. It's also authentic, as demonstrated when the soldiers stopped by when I was there. Here are soldiers rigorously training in the mountains, and they took their minimal free time to pay 10th Mountain a visit. Now that's a strong story. Lastly, the 10th story is personal. It's about skiing and lifestyle. It's about Ryan and his business partner Christian, whose grandfather was an original medic in the 10th and gave the parting advice, go west, work hard, and ski harder. You cannot help but fall in love with the 10th Mountain story, then their delicious products keep fans coming back for more. As compelling as the 10th Mountain story is, the majority of consumers are only willing to put in so much effort. The modern consumer's attention span has shrunk considerably. We expect fast, simple, and easy. This means you need to minimize clicks and time spent from discovery all the way to purchase. You should put in your navigation, likely other locations as well, a Find Us button, and the ability to identify the closest locations where your products are sold. If the Find Us button is buried, or if it's not an easy tool as depicted on the 10th Mountain website, then you will lose a significant percent of sales. While the Find Us functionality is a must, in the Amazon era that we live in today, many consumers will prefer the convenience of delivery right to their doorstep. Capitalizing on impulsivity, and while you have the consumer's attention, is ideal, which means capturing the sale online. There are a number of different platforms like Drizzly and Minibar, then countless online retailers like Spirit Hub and Reserve Bar that for no additional cost will carry your product. Which brings us to our key takeaway of the day, to have direct links from your site to online providers, so all of your hard work after discovery and engagement is realized. Forbes recently quoted a 291% increase in e-commerce alcohol sales, Rolling Stone a 400% increase, and the drinks business a 500% increase. Whatever the number, online is a serious sales channel. It's not only about driving traffic to brick and mortar locations. If you're going to go all in with digital and unlock the scalability of digital advertising, then you'll want to consider a fully integrated e-commerce solution. When working with an online retailer, you lose control over the user experience, the look, the feel, the design, the price, the shipping. There are a lot of distractions in other brands. At the bottom of a product page, it will have other recommended products. So if you pay for a click from Instagram, then link to an online retailer, you might be generating sales for a competitor. Then in terms of data, you have no ability to track whose products are being purchased or the ROI. In terms of ownership, even if you convert a customer, you do not own the email address for remarketing purposes. So you're effectively building up the online retailer's e-commerce business, not your own. With Speakeasy, you will be transformed into an e-commerce company while remaining 3-tier compliant. Rather than relying upon distributors, bars, restaurants, and retailers alone, Park Street plus Speakeasy empowers you to own your own destiny. We work with Park Street, who handles distribution and sells your products to the 3rd tier. Then Speakeasy manages the technology, warehousing, and order fulfillment, together taking the product end-to-end from brand to consumer. Park Street and Speakeasy accomplish this by integrating a shopping cart directly into your website, providing access to the tools, capabilities, and analytics as if you were selling direct to consumer, while the financials still flow through the 3 tiers. Taking this full circle, you will be able to run a paid social media ad to drive traffic to your site, engage them with your killer brand story, then convert them right then and there on your site. With Speakeasy, you will then own the customer data to feed into your automated email sales funnel and continue to monetize the lifetime value of the consumer. At the end of the day, it's all about increasing your reach, control, and scalability. The American Craft Spirits Association published that over 50% of sales for small and medium emerging producers takes place in their home state. And that's because it can be difficult to get picked up by a distributor and capture mindshare, as we mentioned in the beginning. But with Park Street and Speakeasy, you can get outside of your home market, leveraging Park Street's licenses, then Speakeasy's technology, and some of the freedoms of shipping. We pulled data from one of our partners and found that 91% of their online sales were from outside of their home market, opening them up to unparalleled reach. With an e-commerce solution, you are not just able to sell online, but sell on tablets at events. Or if you're in a tourist destination with a highly trafficked tasting room, rather than having visitors check a bag with a bottle, you can set up kiosks to order and have the bottles meet them at home. In terms of control, you will own the user experience end-to-end. You'll be able to tell your story and not have the clunky experience of linking to another website. you will have access to the data and tools needed to effectively run an e-commerce company, including placing pixels not just on your main site, but also on the shopping cart, allowing for Facebook retargeting and cart abandonment emails, to name a few. Highlighted here are just some of the data available via Google Analytics, so you can learn about your customers and access first-party data for the first time. At the end of the day, you're probably wondering, is this a sales channel that can really move the needle? And we can confidently say yes. This particular brand that we're highlighting has sold over $500,000 online, and this is just the tip of the iceberg as they invest more resources into online and optimize efforts. This shift from brick and mortar towards e-commerce has been in motion for many years in other industries, and now it's time for the alcohol industry to adapt to consumer desires. Craft is booming and e-commerce is booming, so the future is bright. Now it's your job to go and seize it. Thank you for your time and hope you enjoyed our series on developing a digital presence that drives sales. We would love to hear from you and continue the conversation. You can reach me directly at josh@speakeasyco.com or find more at speakeasyco.com.